right, 14 minutes gone past the hour of 5. You're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatuba, and it's time for us to push the conversation forward. I'm trying to connect with my guests, but we're having network challenges, and I don't know how, but we'll find a way around it. I want us to talk about what I perceive a battle for the political structure of River State. Now, it's no longer news. We've heard it and we've talked about it in various shows. The attack on a particular political group. Some would even say these are people who belong to the same political party. I remember yesterday on the Morning Crossfire, I was talking with Sidney Barra, the publicity secretary of the PDP and River State, and we're talking about all of these attacks happening in different parts, and we're referring to even Akpabio's statement talking about the replacement of the governor as governor of River State, and we talked about all of that stuff. However, I'm also noticing that it looks like all of these things that are happening, I perceive rather, that these things are a fight for the battle of the soul, the political soul of River State. Now, what is it? Before now we had the grassroots development initiative, right? And now we are now seeing, what's it called now? Is it the Simplified movements moving from different LGAs, different wards, different communities, to different communities, trying to set up a structure, in my opinion, once again, similar to that of the GDI. And so I was hoping that we could get to go deeper. We could get to talk to some of these political actors, or one of the political actors, who can help us and tell us and narrate to us what really is happening. This is 2024. It's in the next 3 years, or even maybe 2 years, that we will, or we should start talking about the politics, or plain politics in River State. Like some of you said yesterday morning, it's time for us to focus on governance. However, it looks like strategies. It looks like we already it looks like so I was saying, it looks like they're already putting up structures. And I remember I asked you one time, are you already putting up your own strategy as an individual to ensure that 2027 you have your say on who becomes what in the various levels of election that will take place? Now let's even talk let's talk local government elections. We hear local government elections are supposed to happen this year. Could all of these things be happening as a result of the local government elections? I mean, I've got so many questions for my guest. I wish he was here. I don't even know how to have a conversation anymore. It looks like the network is terrible. Maybe should I try calling him with my own phone? How do I do that? But any which ways, I was hoping that we could have this conversation. I'm still trying to get to my guest, and let's see how that works. However, let's see what we can make of the conversation. So we've seen maybe some of you are a part of these movements. We've seen a lot of movements recently, a lot of support groups, and we also know that the state is somewhat politically tense. Now, the political actors, the political leaders have said that they have embraced peace, but it looks like underground things have been put in place, structures have been built. There is that silent war, so to say. By the way, we're still wondering if the police has done anything about the incident that was reported on social media as relates to a local government area. We're still waiting for developments from that. However, one would look at that incident and say, okay, could this be, we're trying to do a Thanksgiving service, and then there is the scattering of the place. Could this be, a statement of, this is my territory, this is my political territory? Okay, so I'm going to try. I don't know. Any which ways, I was trying to explain to you that I was going to try to explain to you that we've seen all of these movements here, we've seen all of these movements there. I'm trying to reach my guest still, but it's not. So I'm just going to maybe run the show all by myself, you and I, and we talk, because I'm beginning to sound distracted and like a broken record already. So yeah, I was mentioning not too long ago that we've seen all of these attacks here and there, and I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the battle for the control of the soul of the state. Also, I'm wondering, these movements, the reason why they're being attacked, is it because they are now a potential threat to the existing political structure that we had or still have in Rivers State, or else why? I mean, a grown man or an adult, we usually not bother about a child because a child may necessarily not be a threat to him. But when he begins to bother a lot, then it means that the child has become a threat. I mean, you can look at it from that angle. There is also the talking point of, all of these groups emanating from one angle or from one place, coming up from another place. How are they going to help the governance of, Rivers State? I remember when we talked about Akpabio's statement, a lot of people said this is not the time, and indeed it's not the time for plain politics. Rather, it's the time for governance. It's the time where you and I should focus on governance. So all of this support group, all of these structures, political structures being built, because from my own understanding, the only structure a leader needs is the structure of government, the civil service, the commissioners, the special advisors, and then of course the lawmakers, the judiciary. Basically those structures are enough to give you and I good governance, right? So I'm wondering, all of these support groups, to what extent, to what impact? It's not your time for campaigns, or like I've always suspected, is it going to be a battle for the local government election, like I've mentioned 1,000 times, right? There's so many angles I want to look at it from. I'm talking about local government elections. It looks like nothing much is being done in terms of preparation for the local government elections. There is no movement, so to say. I'm looking at it from that angle. Do we really see any movement from RISIEG, from the governor? Because it's the governor who will first of all make a declaration, and then RISIEG will put all of that in motion, and then we'll have a local government election. Looking at some of the amendments that we've seen in recent times coming out of the House of Assembly as led by Martin Amewule, there's also the talk about whether they're still in good terms, and if that would also affect the propaganda. One can help it ask the question, these for the local government elections, because maybe if they win the structure of the local government elections, those structures will be used to further solidify or further determine whether the elections will go towards politician A or towards politician B. And why are these people even attacking each other? I thought politics in Rivers State is about who is on ground. Must we get violent? Must we play with violence? And who are these people who are allowing themselves to be tools in the hands of the political class to perpetrate violence in Rivers State when we talk politics? Because whether you like it or not, these leaders, these people who are, occupying certain positions in government will never send their children or their siblings' children or any of their relatives near, the violent sports, or to even perpetrate the violence that they ask you to perpetrate. So these are some of the things I like to talk about. I mean, this conversation would have made more sense, I would not lie, if my guest, and I'm going to try once I go for that commercial, I'm going to try to see if I can get my guest on board so that he and I can talk for development. But up until then, oh my, I just keep talking. There's a commercial break coming up. I was making sure that I have, my goodness. Okay, so the phone lines will be officially open in a bit. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. That's when we come back from the commercial break to stay tuned. All right, the thing with technology is that it will fail you sometimes. Apparently, I still cannot connect with my guest, so I would have to make do with what is available, and no, just talk and let's talk for development nonetheless. I'm disappointed, yes, but we still have to push the conversation and push it for development. All right, that being said, looking at the clock, it's time for the headline news. Just stay tuned, I'll be right back, and we would have the headline news right now.
Headline news, Nigeria Info on 92.3.
Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Rivers Police parades decomposed body of wanted gang leader to Baba. Troops rescue kidnapped victim. CJN to swear in new Supreme Court justices on Monday. INEC releases 2023 general elections report. Former NBA President Akpata wins Labour Party governorship primary for Edo State. ASU says federal government's continued neglect of public varsities unacceptable. House of Representatives ask NAFDAC to lift a ban on sale of alcoholic content in sachet. On the foreign scene, US targets Russia with more sanctions. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Do stay tuned. Okay, so 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Yet again, I'm trying to make do of the conversation as much as I can because the show was structured with a guest in mind. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. This is Hard Facts. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, or you are just tuning in now, you're welcome. So I'm looking at the fact that we in recent times have seen so many support groups pop up in different wards, in different local governments of River State, right? And usually the propping up of these new movements, these new support groups, one is supporting the left, the other is supporting the right, one is in the blue corner, the other one is in the red corner. While all of these things are happening, we're seeing some pockets of violence happening in certain parts of the state. Attacking Thanksgiving ceremonies, setting statements that are looking like, there is the battle. There is the battle. Statements like the one made by Apabio, statements like the one made by Yesam Wike over the weekend. Those kind of statements. I know we've talked about the statements part, but we're looking at it deeper now, and I'm asking, these things. Does it reveal the underlying politicking happening? Does it show that just maybe the battle for the political soul of River State is ongoing and everybody is trying to make sure that they've got a team, or would I say they've got a political army, just so that they can maintain or they can build new structures? Is that how you see it? Are you a part of some of those groups? Before now, we had political structures. We had structures on which some of these politicians stood. And maybe the reason for some of this violence, as we've seen, some of these back and forth arguments, as we've seen, could just be because, there are corresponding groups or structures resembling the structures that the politicians stood on before that are now propping up, that are now emerging, and just maybe, I don't know. But is that example, before now we had the Grassroots Development Initiative, right? Now we have the Simplified movement, right? The question in my head is, how will all of these groups, this one is supporting that person, this one is supporting the other person, how all of these things going to help us with governance, especially in the time that we find ourselves in, where living, the cost of living, just breathing is now mentally tasking. Very mentally tasking. I'm going to open the phone lines now. Once I turn on gear to talk, I always like to talk. At some point I was wondering what I'll talk about. Well, look at me now. All right, let's open up all lines. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. You could also use the number 0817-923-0007. We could do WhatsApp messages 0809 0306416. All right, let's get your thoughts. Let's see, do I have a message here? This was since the former governor, now FCT minister, is insisting that he should leave his structure. I think it is high time for the present governor to also build his own structure that will help him work effectively. But Hector, how will that, or rather from Anonymous, how will that help him build a structure? I'm wondering. And moreover, how would that affect governance? I'm waiting for your call. I've got Alozie, and Alozie is calling me from Adajudge. Alozie, welcome on the show. Let's get your thoughts. Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome.
Canada, for me, I believe that politics is run by each person. Let's say the leader, which is the governor of life, has his own psychology, and he has his own leadership style. So, the movement for me is so structural. And there is no governor that comes with the name of people. His own structure. I have nothing against the structure. And one thing I'm kicking against, and one thing I'm against is the politics of people to work in this state. It's very, very wrong. It's undemocratic. And again, the governor should react and start to act fast. I'm not teaching violence now. But when he starts to question those who are, attacking his people, because this attack I'm seeing very evident local government. It's an affront to the position of the governor. Because these people are instructed to follow, because any gathering that has to do with the governor is governor itself. So governor should be people who are attacking this men as affront against the justice. They should react. That's the situation I want to clear that.
All right. Thank you very much, Alize. Thank you. I've got Clinton from Bori. Clinton, welcome.
Hello, Canada.
Yeah, welcome, Clinton.
Sure. First, as a member of the APC, ordinarily I should be happy with the side going in PDP. But I don't think that is held for the state. Because currently the state is not doing well. The reason being that this crisis has overwhelmed the current governor. Like my principal said before, that's the Tobago that we can only have one governor at a time. We all have only one governor at a time. That's why all stakeholders must come together to support River State. Supporting the governor is supporting River State. When it's time for political order, we will do politics. But it's too early, very early for them to start this fight. The comment of the former governor, the comment of Akpabio is not helping River State. So I don't know why. Even the local government elections, Kala, do you think it's possible? For me, I don't see it being possible. So I think that the state must be settled, the state must stabilize. And this means that all crises must end, all parties must come together to forge a common front for the betterment of the state. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Keep your calls coming in 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Yet again trying to shake off the disappointment of not having a conversation with my guest. You know, when you plan all of these things and it doesn't go as planned, sometimes you get frustrated. But hey, we still have to talk. We still have to talk for development nonetheless. The Bright is saying on WhatsApp, the reason why you can't connect with your guests is because there is so much political confusion in River State, which has made several networks to be confused. That's on a lighter note, I guess. But he said River State people must resist stomach infrastructure politicians because they always abandon us at last. Brightner from Woji. All right, send those calls in and let's talk and let's get your thoughts. I'd like to hear. All right, let's see. I've got calls. I've got Wariboko, and Wariboko is calling me from Alakaya. All right. Let's take Wariboko's call. Wariboko, welcome on the show. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Canada, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, apparently.
Okay. The issue on ground of local government election and all this thuggery in Rivers State, I think it has something to do with local government election, but it has to do with stupidity of the youth who don't know what they want. When I heard the news, I was like, do they really think workers have not been promoted for how many years? And somebody came and promoted workers. You are fighting the person. So I don't know. Some of these people that is being promoted and benefit they are attached are even their brothers, their sisters, which their own children can even run down to their house to eat sometime or seek for assistance in one way or the other. And here they are so foolish. But I think if the Simplified movement will come up with this strategy, they should go ahead. And for Akpabio, they should come from Akpabio and come to Rivers State in 2027 to come and conduct election.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Wariboko. Yes. I've got to let you go at this point. Origi from Ogbogo, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
My man, Canada, how are you?
I'm great. Welcome. How are you yourself? Welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Okay, please. I'm fine. As long as I've heard from you.
Okay.
See, I always told you that politics is the most dangerous game we should play on. Don't allow your child to be a politician. Because the day he chooses to be a politician, that is the day he becomes a dangerous person. These people are only playing with us. There is no problem between them. The past governor and the present governor has no problem to themselves. The governor is completely going every day, doing his project the way he wants, paying the workers, doing everything. Nothing is making him to disassociate himself from doing the work he has to do in Rivers State. So let us live there. This is how we can every day. Tomorrow weekend, every day Mechi. Nowhere they have bought themselves. And I want to tell you, Canada, our children, they did not know that where a town has his house is a hotel and prison yard. Until we tell our children the truth, we get children his own pleasant relationship and our present governor pleasant relation. You cannot see them come out and talk in radio. You cannot also see them going to fight. Why are we blind, our children?
All right.
They are not fighting.
All right. Thank you, Rigi. Henry from Opobo. Henry, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Yeah, Canada, my brother. Good evening.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Let me say, it's been a while I've joined your program.
All right.
And let me say, and also let me use this opportunity to tell the local government chairmen who have decided to make their various local government ungovernable that all they just have is few months to leave the office. And whatever you do today will wait for you tomorrow. That is the law of karma. Now, to the former governor of Rivers State, I think as an elder statesman, he has ruled Rivers State for 8 years. As an emperor, nobody dictates what he
let's remove the emperor
in his government. He runs his government with his own men and all the rest till he finishes his tenure. I think if he wants to be a true elder statesman, he should be the one to bring peace. He should be the one to support the governor for the development of Rivers State to increase, for the IGR of Rivers State to increase, not allow his supporters to be causing problems all over the state. I think it's not a good one. You see, it's so unfortunate that the politics of today have turned this way, where local government chairmen no longer have respect for the governors. But one thing they should know that tomorrow they will also want to aspire for more better positions. Posterity will judge them.
All right.
To the Akpabio, I think Akpabio
I've got to let you go at this point. Sorry. Is it Ken? Welcome. Let's get your thoughts so we can wrap up and go for a commercial.
Good evening, Canada.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Canada, you see, the truth remains that the strategy to destabilize the governor's effort is this. We have started seeing it. The structures now is now speaking. If you can remember, this is making 10 months now. We are still talking on the same issue. Every weekend or within the weeks, we hear some certain issues that are not meant to call for any attention because of regret. Somebody has regretted somewhere for bringing out somebody to become what he is today.
Summarize, please. Summarize. I've got to go, please.
So what I'm saying in essence is this. Undermining what we are suffering in this state, yet some group of persons are...
Hello and welcome to yet another fantastic, wealthy time on your radio. I am Gabriella, welcoming you to Real Estate on Radio with Ori Martin. It's always a